date is November 9th, 2021. I can't even move my legs. I was at the park and now they are in so much peril. It hurts so badly. I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. I'm still within this flag and then this system over here, which I say is Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. I'm star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. I was at the Marie Curie Park with my son, and while there, today is one of those days that go down in infamy for some reason. My son was busy playing with a group of children that he's played with before. The group is a diverse mix of ethnical ancestry and lineage and any of the other words that I have used before. They're, I suppose you could say, mixed racial, all different types, some purely one thing, some purely another, some you cannot distinguish between, like, where the line ends and line begins, so I don't. They are just, at this point for the story, just children in a group setting on a public playground. There was one child who came up innocently enough. Oh, actually, I have the packaging. And he gave... Now, I like Swedish fish. I know at some point there was a packaging problem. They don't always come from the same plant. Sometimes it's been found that the labels have been switched and counterfeited. And as myself, I don't know how to tell the difference. This particular batch of whomever put, perhaps it's the correct label, perhaps it's the correct whatever that went into the manufacturing, and perhaps it's a counterfeit that's laced with something. There's no way for me to know for sure. What I will say is the characteristic changes of my son. He was in the park. One of the boys that he's played with had candy, came running up to him and handed it to him. Before I could, because I'm hobbling, I'm not right on top of him, I can't run after him in my condition with my knees and my legs. So I see him with the candy, but their park is so crowded and my voice is not going to carry. So I'm like, it's like an animal. It's like having a dog on a leash. If you've ever walked a dog or some kind of animal, or a horse or a oxen or whatever, and all of a sudden they find something on the ground you didn't even see and they start eating it, and you're like, oh my god, that's going to make such a mess later if they have diarrhea in the house, oh my god. That's kind of what it felt like. So I'm like, Anthony! And of course he doesn't hear me. I get over there, he's stuffing his face with the candy, and then and he gives me one. Now, I taste the one, because I'm like, now I have to know what I'm in for, because this is not usual. And it was, I know who the boy was, whatever. It was somebody, he's more my color, let's call it, but I don't know the source of the candy and who gave him the candy to then give to my son, so that's always a whatever. So, he gives me the candy, he gives me the package with one left in it, and I'm eating it, and it's chalky. It's not the normal Swedish fish. Like, they sometimes have a coating on them. This made me dehydrated, and all of a sudden, my children, my son, inside this group, starts misbehaving like somebody spiked the food. And it's not just my son. The other children that took the candy and ate it also had behavioral changes in a spiked energy level that was out of nowhere. Some people blame it on the red dye. I mean, I've heard the humans come up with 1,000 stupid excuses. But whatever. So now my son's cursing, he's running, he's whatever. I've got girls trying to put their hands on him. Then I got this one chick, she's looks more like the person who's following Alexander James, who I would like a bullet in her head, thank you. Her name's Nicole. Because she's not of our lineage, and she's not first, first. She's not first German, let's put it that way. So she's not royal or regal accepted for calling a girlfriend, but whatever. Here we are. So now I have one of those following my son. She keeps putting her hands on him. So I said, please stop being handsy. I don't want you touching him. Then I had another girl following him, same situation, with a canister of Pringles, Pringles, and she keeps offering it after my son already has a behavioral change because of the Swedish fish. So I say to her nicely the first time, I said, excuse me. I said, please do not offer him any food. I don't want him accepting any food. I don't want him eating any food. He is done. She looked at me like she was acknowledging that I was speaking a language that she understands, and then she walked away. Next thing I know, I'm standing back in the situation, and I'm watching, and I'm just quiet. I'm just letting him act out of character in this disgusting American display that seems to be becoming way too prevalent in the area that I absolutely hate. Wrong scene, wrong character, wrong cast. I don't know why my son is stuck in this disgusting behavioral situation. I don't know who we have to prove ourselves to in humanity since they all fucked up. And I got scars to fucking prove it. So now, Anthony... So she's following him in hot pursuit. And she's like, here, want Pringles? Want Pringles? And she's like putting the canister out. So I said, hey, you, Pringles, come here. So she's like, I said, I already said to you once, he's not allowed to have any food from that canister or from you. Stop offering it to him. But here we are. I said it to you once, and now you're following him. And you're actively trying to make him eat the Pringles or offering him the Pringles. I go, enough. I was like, stay away from him. And I walked away. And she did. She didn't say anything. She just took her Pringles and walked in the opposite direction nicely. That was it. So then it was awkwardly hanging in the air, but... what am I to do? I don't want these children inappropriately touching my son. I don't want my son be eating food that's laced. I don't want him, I mean, like, this is an absolutely disgusting arrangement. So that happened. Same day within this park, whatever, there's a little, like, almost a cabana or like a clubhouse, but like, it only fits, it's one door. It's more of like a tack room if you have saddles and one horse. It would be where you would keep the one saddle and maybe a spare for policeman purposes back in the day. Maybe a urinal or like whatever for if you have to go to the bathroom or toilet or whatever. So there's a man that stays at the park with the Parks Department. I've spoken to him before. I think he said he was from San Juan. I think that's Puerto Rico. But again, these people speak these things. I don't know what Puerto Ricans look like. I don't know what's native, what's transient. I have no idea. So he says that's what he is. I say, whatever, for my record, that's who you are. So now, there was we'll call it chocolate-colored child who threw a football into the pool area. Now the pool is drained, and it's got a big cage around it, and it's locked up. And it's between the basketball courts, but it's set off from where the saddle room or the tack room would have been back in the day, but now it houses like a push, like a rake, a broom for maintenance of the local play yard. with the man who sits in that area, who I address when there's a park question that I have, because he says he's from Parks and Recreation, and who am I to dispute him? He's sitting in the house, he has a key to the building. So now, this chocolate colored boy throws a football, jumps over the gate into the pool yard. And so I go and I'm like, excuse me, to the man in the house, or the Parks Department house. I said, is there, and I mention it to him. He goes, oh, and he's telling me it happens all the time. I'm like, is there like a protocol? I mean, one, it's a pool and the kids use it in the summertime. I don't want it to get damaged. Two is, I don't want the kid to get hurt while he's in there. And three is, because he tells me now it's a regular occurrence. And I'm like, right, got that. Okay, so what's the park protocol? Like, do you call NYPD? Do you report it? Do you have them come? Have him removed? I mean, like, how does that work? And he's like, no, no, no. He's like, I don't know. He says, I mean, this is crazy. Right, okay, so you're a Park City representative with no street protocol or anything to remove the children from the pool area when they purposely keep throwing a ball in and then going to retrieve it. Okay, so I had nothing more to say on that. I'm like, that's just an observatory, really scary feature of the local Marie Curie Park. So, and then I was like, okay, well, I have to go find my son now, so thank you. And I walked away. But, like, this is just today's park crew. There are some children that are there that are regulars that my son plays with a lot. Then there's some that come and go. I don't know on what or whose schedule. And then there's some constantly new visitors, I suppose. For what purpose, I don't know either. So that was what happened. Unusually abrupt, and I was unusually abrupt with this girl in hot pursuit of my son in an uncomfortable way, because I know he's being targeted and I'm really fucking tired of it. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza.